Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you've looked at the price of pavers recently, you know they're not cheap. So when you want to cover an entire patio or a long walkway, well, the price really adds up. But here's the thing. You can make your own high-quality pavers like this one in all sorts of shapes and sizes for a fraction of the price. Here's how I do it. There are two types of pavers that I'll be talking about in this video. Kind of a basic version and a deluxe version. And for a basic paver, you don't really need a lot of fancy tools. You need a bag of concrete, you need something to mix the concrete in, and you need some kind of a form to pour that concrete into it. That's basically it. Oh, and patience. As I mentioned at the beginning, you can get paver forms in all sorts of shapes and sizes. The particular one that I'm using is a little bit smaller than 6 by 12 by 2. It's a very basic form, except it does have kind of a fancy finish on the top of the paver that makes it look a little bit like a stone or a slate, something like that. That particular basic form, if you just go kind of the direct route, which is pour concrete into it, let it cure, and then pop that out and lay that as a paver, it's probably going to cost you about 50 cents a paver, give or take. Because in my case, your mileage will vary, I'm able to get about 7.5 pavers out of a 60-pound bag of concrete. But I'm not going to be making a basic version. I'm going to be making a deluxe version. And part of that has to do with the fact that the tops of these pavers have kind of a stone surface finish. And so I didn't want the finished paver to have that pale concrete color. I wanted it to look a little bit darker, like something that you would see in a slate or a bluestone. And so this is where I have my first add-on, and that is very basic, simple concrete tint. And so in each batch, when I'm mixing it up, I add about 1 ounce of this tint to the water, and then I add it into the mix. For my purposes, a 5-gallon bucket was the perfect size because it's easy to pick it up and then empty it into the trays on the mixing table. I literally took 5 minutes to build a frame that holds the 5-gallon bucket on an angle with some scrap wood. As you can see, it's very high tech. And what that does is it prevents when I'm mixing, it prevents there being dry areas of concrete that are stuck around the edges. Because what I'm using is this cheap handheld concrete mixer. And that way and then I can also rotate the bucket as I go. And then this ensures I get a really good mix. One other thing I should mention as far as add-ons go, it's at the last stage of the mixing. I put the tint in and I've given the batch a really good mix. I add in a good handful of concrete fiberglass reinforcement. And this just makes sure that you get a really strong paver. All right, I should mention, make sure if you're going to do this yourself that your mix is a little on the dry side. And make sure that your ratios are very repeatable and predictable. That way you don't have any leftover material that goes to waste, or you don't have enough to fill all of your trays. For that, I use 32-ounce yogurt containers, and I initially asked ChatGPT to help me figure out the ratio. It was completely wrong. So I had to kind of go through a couple batches to get the right amount. In the case with this form, for this size paver, it was 9 of these containers of concrete and 2 of water, and that got me just to the right point. It was a nice dry mix, and it filled all 5 trays without anything left over. I should mention now, okay, now we're talking about pouring in the mix into the mixing table. I use a silicone molder release to make sure that they slide out. I pour the concrete onto the mixing table, into these forms. I actually have it on so that the concrete can settle down very quickly, and I can see which tray I need to add a little bit more to or to remove some from. And I run it for about 5 minutes until the majority of the bubbles have risen out of the paver. And that ensures that there's no kind of air pockets, weak spots in these particular pavers. A friend of mine in the masonry business suggested that once I have demolded these pavers, that I should put a concrete sealer on the top of them to improve the durability of these pavers. So that was the third and final add-in on my deluxe pavers, which was a concrete sealer. I got a cheap vibration motor that is mounted to the underside of this frame that I built from some scrap wood. And I designed it so that you can place the 5 trays into this vibration table and they won't slide off. The next thing I did was make sure the table was level so that when everything was shaking, I didn't get crooked pavers. So I allow about 24 hours for the concrete to cure, and then I probably would say another 24 hours before I actually walk on the pavers, just to be, you know, sure. But I'm really happy with how this particular form comes out. I like the kind of stone looking pavers. All right, let's talk about the cost to the deluxe pavers. I mentioned that the basic version, where you just kind of make your own form and you just pour concrete into it and you don't add tint, you don't add fiberglass, and you don't add sealer, it's going to be 50, I don't know, maybe 60 cents per paver. It really depends on the size and thickness of your paver. But for these deluxe pavers, because they are kind of a stone finish, they're hard to find an exact comparison. But I found some that were similar, and those ran between $2 and $4 each. With all of the add-ons, my pavers cost about $1. Maybe $1 and change, $1.10, $1.15. So that's a pretty big win. And finally, some concluding thoughts. I'm going to try to head off some of the comments that I know I'm going to get. A lot of people are going to say, yeah, but what about the time spent doing the project? Doesn't that factor in and make the project more expensive? I usually don't factor in time into my projects by design. And there are a lot of reasons. I wrote down 4 that I wanted to share with you that I thought might be helpful if you are allowing the amount of time involved to prevent you from starting a project. Number 1, I view time spent on projects, especially starting up new projects, as tuition, as the school of life. You need to spend your time in order to learn something, so why not? Why not spend it on something that you can stand back and look at and have some satisfaction from? Along those lines, building stuff with your own hands gives you that great sense of accomplishment and gives you a certain kind of sense of purpose. Customization. You get to create different projects in the DIY universe that are unique to your desires and interests. It's not an off-the-shelf item. And the 4th item that I think a lot of people overlook is the therapeutic value of working with your hands, as well as the health benefits of working, physically moving your body to build something. I don't have a gym membership because I don't need one. This type of stuff keeps me healthy. Okay, so if you're allowing time, the amount of time involved in a project to prevent you, toss that out the window, build something with your hands. Okay, the vibration motor. The vibration motor is something that it's a tool that gets repurposed for all sorts of applications. Yes, it's used to shake down concrete, but you can use it for sifting, compost, all sorts of projects. So it's a tool that I keep on hand. The mixing motor. I mix a lot of concrete on this property. It's not just for the pavers. So they're just tools in the repertoire of tools that I need to get projects done. So yes, I didn't factor those in to the overall. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, the table and the frame that I built, scrap lumber. So all of those things keep the price down. Okay, let's see here. For the 10 people that actually made it this far in the video, here's a minute straight of me messing up. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Good morning. He's just starting to crow, so he's got to do his thing. If you've looked at the price of pavers recently, you know they are not cheap. Yep. But as soon as it hits the mixing table, it really kind of settles into a nice form. See, this is why I should script things, because when I freeform it, what am I talking about? Birdie bird. I'm not making fun. It's an appreciation, an homage, if you will. At least to ensure that they pop right out of the forms. And thank you. Of concrete and 2 of water. Thank you. I appreciate that. As I mentioned at the beginning, you can get paver forms in all sorts. If you got something out of this video, please consider doing the YouTube stuff. Commenting, liking, subscribing, bell icon, all of that stuff. It really does make a difference. Thank you. I genuinely appreciate all of the support that I get from my subscribers. I don't know how it's possible, but within the next month or 2, the channel will cross 100,000 subscribers. So, wow. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. There are links in the description of this video and on the channel page if you would like additional ways to support the channel to make sure that I can continue to make videos like this. And if you like this video, you might like these.